I'm going to fill you in on a little bit of a secret here. So, a large part of my job has to do with love, relationships, dating, all that kind of stuff, right? And a lot of people want to know the basics. When am I going to meet my soulmate? When will I find true love? When will I get married? All these things. How am I going to meet this person? That kind of stuff. But we do have choices and free will. And whenever I do those kind of readings, I often segue with we have choices, we have free will, nothing is set in stone. And on top of that, we're not necessarily destined to just be with one person or another. And on top of that, we don't always end up with a soulmate. So sometimes I think that we're asking those questions thinking it's going to fall into our lap when sometimes we can actually take a little bit of control in some way. That doesn't mean that we're going to meet the right person for us, but here's a couple of tips. So, what I suggest is if you want to meet somebody, think about the kind of person that you would find fascinating and interesting, the kind of person that you would like to spend some time with, what kind of conversations you might have, that kind of thing. And then try to become that person because it's not changing who you are. But if you think that somebody might be interesting, that might indicate that you have some of that inside you already, but you don't know how to get there. So if there's a particular hobby that you would find interesting in a significant other, pursue that hobby. If you think that there's uh, uh, some kind of interest, special interest that you think would be interesting, pursue that. Learning trivial facts is another one because, it can open the door to conversation. So instead of like struggling to find a compliment, like, oh, nice shoes, and then it just ending there and flopping, you can, just go out with these little small trivial facts, things like that. So that in itself can kind of open the door to conversation. But if we become the kind of person that we think would be interesting, then it kind of puts us in line with people who we would think would be interesting by becoming that ourselves. So you get what I'm saying. But I wanted to put that out there because sometimes it's not so much when we're going to meet our soulmate, but rather what can we do to be proactive so we're not waiting for our soulmate to fall into our lap on our couch? Because, if we're not making any moves one way or another, we're just going to kind of stagnate. But I wanted to give that tidbit, and there was something else I was going to say, but I forgot what it was, and I'm running out of time, so maybe I'll think of it later.